Yemen, a land at the southern tip of the Arabian Peninsula, is often described as the cradle of ancient civilizations and the land of the Queen of Sheba. This is Yemen, not the Yemen of breaking news, but the Yemen of stories no one dared to tell. In a village you've never heard of, women still sing to the moon, in a language no outsider understands. In a market that hasn't changed in centuries, the scent of dried roses and camel milk soap weaves through corridors of shadow and light. Welcome to Yemen, a place far from everything you thought it would be. One of the most striking aspects of Yemen's cultural heritage is its extraordinary architecture. The capital, Sanaa, is a living museum, with its old city recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Towering gingerbread-like houses, some over for centuries old, line its labyrinthine streets, their windows adorned with delicate stained glass and alabaster. These homes, constructed from sun-dried bricks, seem to rise like fortresses from the earth, yet they carry an elegance that reflects both artistry and survival in a harsh landscape. Sanaa's Great Mosque, believed to be one of the oldest mosques in the Islamic world, further underlines the city's religious and historical significance. South of Sanaa lies Shibam, often called the Manhattan of the desert. This city, surrounded by desert and palm groves, is famed for its tall mud brick skyscrapers, many of them rising up to 11 stories. Built centuries ago to protect its inhabitants from invaders, Shibam demonstrates how ingenuity and necessity combine to produce a skyline that predates modern high-rise cities by hundreds of years. Walking through its narrow streets, one feels the continuity of human creativity, where the wisdom of ancient builders still sustains life in the present day. Located along the ancient incense route, Shibam was once a thriving trade stop, where caravans passed through carrying frankincense and wayrar and spices. Despite being isolated in the middle of the desert, its strategic location helped it prosper. Today, Shibam stands like an open-air museum, a testament to the ingenuity of its builders. Narrow alleys weave through the dense cluster of the towers. Many homes are inherited through generations, maintained using traditional techniques. In some places, wooden beams connect upper floors between buildings, allowing neighbors to share food or speak without stepping outside. High above the Hadramaut Plateau, the land folds inward like a prayer, dry, golden, ancient. There, clinging to the bones of the cliffs, are villages that have watched centuries pass in silence. Perched dramatically on rugged cliffs, Al-Hajarayn embodies both fragility and endurance, as though the houses themselves cling to the rocks with the same tenacity that its people have held to their land for centuries. Al-Hajarayn clings to the cliff as if grown from it, not built. The houses, stacked like forgotten scriptures, face a sun that offers no mercy. There are no rivers here, no green, only stone. Yet life persists. The architecture of Al-Hajarayn is a silent testament to human ingenuity. Built from sun-baked mud bricks and stone, the homes rise vertically, their windows gazing down upon the valley like watchful eyes against the stark desert backdrop. These structures glow in hues of ochre and gold, catching the light of dawn and dusk in ways that make the entire village appear to shimmer with quiet reverence. wander its narrow paths is to feel history pressing against the skin, the whispers of traders, scholars, and families who once carried their lives through its corridors. Leaving the cliffside villages behind and heading higher into mountains, we arrive at Jabal Sabir, a place that feels alive in a different way. Located near the city of Taiz, Jabal Sabir is one of the highest peaks in Yemen, reaching over 3,000 m at its summit. From its summit, the panorama is breathtaking. Taiz spreads below like a tapestry of homes and winding streets, while beyond, the land stretches into valleys and plains kissed by the golden sun. But height is not what makes it special. It's the life that clings to every slope. Terrace farms carved into mountainside more than 2,000 years ago cover the hills like green staircases. These terraces are still in use today, supporting crops like coffee, barley, and cart. Despite limited rainfall, the locals have made agriculture work at altitudes where few would try. For the people of Taiz, Jabal Sabir is more than a landscape feature. It is part of their identity. Its slopes, covered with terraces carved by generations of farmers, reveal a dialogue between humanity and nature. Green fields of coffee, cat, and vegetables stretch across the mountainside, testifying to the ingenuity and persistence of those who cultivate life even in rugged terrain. When mist ascends, the mountain wraps itself in mystery, as if guarding secrets that only time can reveal. Southwest from Jabal Sabir, we reach Al-Hajara, a village that feels was carved with intention, built directly into a steep rock face in the Haraz Mountains. The air of Al-Hajara is heavy with history. Walking through its narrow alleys, one senses echoes of civilization that thrive in isolation, yet remain deeply connected to its land. Each terrace carved into the mountain is not only an agricultural innovation, but also a reflection of patience and devotion, a quiet defiance against the harshness of nature. The surrounding valleys tell stories of farmers who coaxed life from stone, cultivating coffee, grains, and fruit trees that fed both body and spirit. Al-Hajara is not a destination of fleeting entertainment, but of reflection. It reminds visitors that beauty is not always loud or glittering. Sometimes it is carved in stone, etched in patience, and sustained in the quiet rhythm of mountain life. To know Al-Hajara is to understand that true heritage is not measured in grandeur, but in the ability of community to remain rooted, dignified, and deeply human amidst the storms of history. Just east of Al-Hajjar lies Taiz, one of Yemen's most important and densely populated cities. Overlooking the city is Al-Hajara citadel, a massive fortress perched on a rocky hill. Despite the scars of conflict, Taiz's landscapes remind one of timeless truth. Beauty often persists even in hardship. Al-Hajara Castle stands on the northern slope of Mount Sabr, on a rocky height overlooking Taiz, UNESCO World Heritage Center. It is one of the most significant historical fortresses in Yemen. It was built in the 12th century under the Salayid dynasty. The Sulayids played a central role in medieval Yemen. It was built in the 12th century under the Salayid dynasty. The Sulayids played a central role in medieval Yemen. Taiz itself is a city of layers. Its streets wind along the hills filled with markets, mosques, and schools. The people here are known for their education and activism, and the city has long been a center of intellectual and political life in Yemen. The true beauty of Taiz lies not only in its mountains and fields, but in its people. The inhabitants of Taiz are renowned for their warmth, hospitality, and deep-rooted intellectual traditions. Markets are the veins of the city. Strolling through Al-Madhafar or Al-Hajara, one is swept into a kaleidoscope of scents and colors. Fresh spices, vibrant textiles, and a melodic bargaining between merchants and buyers. Every corner hums with energy, a rhythm that has pulsed through generations. What sets Taiz apart is the unyielding spirit of its people. Despite years of hardship, the city remains a cradle of art, literature, and hope. Women, long respected as pillars of Taiz's social fabric, sustain communities through both tradition and change, balancing strength with grace. Not far from Sanaa city, rising straight from a towering rock, is the Dar Al-Hajar, Rock Palace, built in the 1930s by Imam Yahya as a summer residence. This palace is one of Yemen's most iconic architectural marvels. It combines natural geology, architecture, history, and symbolism in a single spectacular monument. This earlier structure sat atop the remains of an even older fortress, sometimes associated with the Sabaean or Himyarite kingdoms. The site is claimed to have pre-Islamic origins in its landscape and usage. UNESCO World Heritage Center. In the early 20th century, Imam Yahya Muhammad Hamid Eddin, ruling from 1904 to 1948, carried out restorations and additions, especially converting it into a more refined summer retreat. Before our eyes is the strange island of Socotra, a place so unique that scientists often call it the Galapagos of the Indian Ocean. In the heart of this island lies the Dixon Plateau, a vast flat island known for its surreal landscapes and rare species. The name Socotra is taken from Sanskrit, namely Sukhadhara Dvipa, which means Island of Happiness. The plateau is the most prominent habitat for the dragon blood tree, a plant that looks like it belongs in a fantasy novel. Of roughly 825 plant species recorded on Socotra, the dragon's blood tree, Dracaena cinnabari, umbrella-shaped and resinous, is one of the world's most recognizable endemic species and a symbol of Socotra's distinct ecology. Other specialists include bottle trees, cucumber trees, many endemic succulents, and a rich coastal and marine fauna, including coral reefs and endemic fish species. A small population, tens of thousands, of indigenous Socotra speak Socotri, the Semitic language, and maintain distinct cultural traditions. Many livelihoods remain traditional. Semi-nomadic pastoralism, goats, fishing along the coast, small-scale date and home gardening, and harvesting of aromatic resins. The Al-Hajar Mountains are a rugged mountain range in the center of Socotra Island. Another peak, often referred to simply as Hajar, also Cathedral Peak, is around 1,189 meters elevation. He mountains are made mostly of granite and metamorphic rock. They form the main watershed of Socotra, meaning they catch moisture from clouds and monsoon winds and feed water to the lower regions. Dramatic scenery, sharp peaks, steep cliffs, deep canyons, changing vegetation zones as you ascend, opportunities for trekking and adventure. The Peak Scund is famous among trekkers.
1, 2, 3.
Callison Canyon, also called Wadi Callison, is one of Socotra's hidden natural gems. It's a freshwater canyon wadi with emerald pools, steep white limestone cliffs, lush patches of vegetation, including bottle trees and other endemic flora, and a mix of hiking, swimming, and relaxation. The contrast between the white limestone rock faces and the deep green turquoise natural pools is striking. The canyon's walls are dramatic. There are waterfalls upstream, and the setting feels remote, wild, and very photogenic. The dry vegetation intermixed with lush pools gives us a real alien landscape. Feel Socotra is famed for. Socotra Island's beaches in Yemen are a rare investment of time and soul, where every step on the white sands feels like a treasure discovered. The turquoise waters stretch endlessly, offering not just beauty, but the wealth of peace that cannot be bought elsewhere. The beaches are not crowded markets of noise, but quiet vaults of serenity where you profit in calm, clarity, and connection to nature. Every wave that washes ashore deposits more than salt. It leaves you with golden moments of reflection and mental wealth. The landscapes, framed by dragon blood trees and untouched cliffs, add value beyond measure, making every photograph and memory a priceless asset. Visiting Socotra's beaches is not a fleeting expense. It is a long-term gain in wonder, rarity, and stories worth telling for a lifetime. If his journey sparked your curiosity, come with us for what's next. Subscribe, leave a comment, or share this video with someone who still believes the world holds wonders waiting to be seen. Because Yemen isn't some distant planet. It's part of our world, and it deserves to be known.